And we are on the record. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 8 of you that have just started in this room. I know it will grow as we go. So let me start by introducing my guests. I'm really looking forward to this segment of Speaker Pro. I published my ebooks in June, and they're not doing too bad. I could be better and market them better, but I have a lot of people ask me about it and how it's leveraged my business. And tomorrow, I'm grateful for you. Lisa Tenner, who is huge in my eyes, recommended you. So I really appreciate you showing up. And same with Erin Smith. She's huge in my eyes too. Serial entrepreneur. But before I get ahead of myself, Tamara Monosoff, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Beautiful. Tamara is a #1 Amazon best-selling author, mentor to entrepreneurs, a media contributor, I love that, and a speaker. She's published a series of books, 6 now, that have made her the #1 best-selling author in entrepreneurship, marketing, and home-based business. And she's offering her Author to Income Formula live training. The next live class starts January 19th, and I'm sure that will come up in this hour. You can get more information, and registration is available at her website, which I wanted to do this like we do on Periscope, and write those down, and I got distracted and I didn't do it. So Tamara, go ahead and type it in the comments so they can see your web address. And if they're interested in the Author to Income Formula live training, they can learn more about it and they can register there. Next class, January 19th. Our second guest here is Erin Smith of the Starters Club, who I've had the pleasure of getting to know over the past several months through Periscope, through her podcast. She's had me on as a guest twice now. She's a serial entrepreneur. I love that term. She's a business strategist. She's a speaker. Her new book, Master the Start, is available in paperback and as an ebook, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it's the ideal tool for business owners that need to get out of their own way and really believe in the idea and the concept that they have to build their business and build their dream and master that start. And you can visit her and learn more about her at thestartersclub.com. And Erin, do me a favor, put your web address in the comments. I encourage all of you in here to follow each other on Twitter, because my goal and blab with Speaker Pro is I want to create a community for the speaker entrepreneur industry so we can help each other and serve each other. And we can do that by staying in touch, staying connected, and doing things like this and giving each other and helping each other with information when it comes to different aspects of our business, whether it be marketing, whether it be mindset strategy, or just, your regular dive in and dig deep strategy. So now that I've rambled on aimlessly, we're talking ebooks today, my friends, specifically ebooks. If anyone is interested in publishing on November 3rd, if you want to mark your calendar, Speaker Pro happens every Tuesday at 2. I'm bringing in 2 expert authors and book coaches to talk about authorship. And we're going to talk about traditional authoring versus self-publishing. But today I just want to talk about creating ebooks specifically. So we're going to answer the questions like, how can ebooks serve us as professionals? What is the process? Do you need an ISBN number? How can an ebook be used as a marketing tool to serve us in our business so we stand out as the professional and as the expert? And this is great because Erin's a fairly new author. Your book is 8 weeks old now? Something like that? We lost your audio, Erin.
Sorry, I muted myself for the kids. And I just muted myself. Yeah, I was thinking aloud anyway. So it's about 6 weeks old, September 1st.
Cool. So we have a fairly new author, and then Tamara is a seasoned author. And I like this because we're going to get 2 different perspectives. So Tamara, let's start with you. You've published a handful of books, 6 books. They are soft cover. They're also available as ebooks. You have the Author to Income Formula live training. You know what it takes to market books for profit. We will dig into that. But let's start with the actual process, because there's no one way to publish an ebook. There's no wrong way. I personally published mine with KDP Select, and my ebooks are available exclusively on Amazon. I'm good with that. What can you tell someone who has an idea or concept, but they don't know where to begin in this process? They want to write the book. They want to publish the book. How do you guide them?
Well, it really is outlining how I start every book is I say, okay, what are the 10 steps that are in the process that I want to teach? And then I outline, and that becomes all of my chapters. And then I upload that Word document to KDP Select. Okay. And the thing is that it is not difficult. I think we put barriers in front of each other, in front of ourselves. And it is absolutely. Once you learn how to do it, you can do it again and again. And it really only takes a little bit of time. And I think the most important thing about eBooks, sorry, I've got feedback coming in my ears. So
it doesn't sound like it. Turn yourself down a little bit just so you don't blow your eardrums out.
Okay, great. The most important thing about eBooks is that it helps build your author platform. Mm-hmm. And it gives you credibility and celebrity and really catapults you to a whole different level. When you've got that book, whether it's an ebook or a printed book, people are like, wow, it's impressive because you've actually carried it through. I think most people have a book inside of them. If you ask people, they're like, oh yeah, I have that idea. And so it really helps establish that credibility. Yeah,
I couldn't agree with you more. So the process, you had said, like when I started writing mine, it was in a Word document. And then what I literally did is I watched videos on YouTube. I read blogs. I went through the process, and I'll tell you, there's times I wanted to pull my hair out because I would upload the book. It wouldn't be structured right. I'd have to do something else to shift it. I did learn it as I went, and I'm grateful that I did it because like you said, by the time I was ready for the second one, I was like, I'm a seasoned pro. You do suggest we choose maybe 8 to 10 points. We create those as chapters. What holds people back from jumping in? Do they think that they don't have the ability to do it or the courage to do it?
No, I think we all have different reasons why fear gets in the way. And I think that we all have things to overcome. But I think that once you write down those 10 points, then just write for yourself. Think about what is it that you needed to know. Like that for my books are all how-to books. So like you were on YouTube, you're trying to figure all that out. Now I do those things too. And it's like, okay, well, now that I figured out, I'm going to share that information. So you have knowledge about something. And even if you write fiction, you have a story to tell. You have knowledge that other people could really gain from. And so I think if you flip it around as this is not really about you, it's about what can you give to others to help lift up their lives, to help them, how to make it easier for them to achieve their goals. So if you frame it as giving other people a gift by giving them real concrete information that they can use right away, then I think that it helps get over the fear of, the 10 steps or whatever it is that you're going to put in your book.
Cool. Awesome. Erin's got little people in the room because
I do. I have a 2 and 3-year-old, so we're trying to hold them back as much as possible.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Erin, your book is your book is new, and you've done really good out of the gate with it. Talk to me a little bit about the process for you. And I know you are like you're a bull in a china shop. So if something shows up in front of you, you know how to push that bull out of the way. What I want to do and accomplish in these next few minutes is for anybody that is joining us and they have that block and they don't know where to begin, give them the fire that they need to do so.
So I've always loved to write, and mine was such a head game. And everybody always asks me, how long did it take you to write the book? And I always joke, I'm like, just a few months to write the book, then another 6 months to get out of my own head and believe I was actually good enough to put this out in the world. So, I fought everything, oh my gosh, what if somebody reads this and they think I'm a joke? I was so scared of disappointing the people who believed in me. I was so scared they'd read it and say, she's a flippin' idiot. Like, who is this person? Everything ran through my mind, and it is it is a scary thing because you finish the book and you think, wow, the hard part is over and it's the easy part. But like you guys said, at first it's very overwhelming. Okay, formatting for the Nook versus the Kindle but all of that stuff is figure outable. Just baby step it. Like I was so overwhelmed at first. I did hire a formatter so I just could upload it all over because I think I would have been in tears had I uploaded it and gotten an error. So I did hire somebody. It was $150, best $150 I ever spent. But just baby step it, and it changes everything. Like all of a sudden you are a rock star. Like you are, like Tamara said, you are this. People look at you differently. I get just easy referrals now because they read the book. They feel they know me. They feel they know what I'm talking about. And it really does change everything. I think the biggest point though I can stress is think of a strategy when you I love the 10 points, but I want you to think bigger picture. How does this book correlate with everything you want to do in your business? So as a speaker, this book should correlate to a speech that you give or a couple of speeches that you give so you can easily sell, or a program behind it. So different things like that. I know a lot of people just write a book and they stick a website on it and hope people just go to the website. And I don't see that as effective as really thinking of a strategy behind the book. And that's what's really worked well for me.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. And I hear you, because when I worked on mine, it was a headache at first, but I figured it out. I was so damn determined to make it work. And mine, Tamara, are also how to find and create paid speaking engagements, how to write a talk that sells. And since those books have come out, and I have to be honest, I could do better marketing them, but I'm impressed every day. I look at those KDP Select results every day. I don't know about you two ladies. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my. And I end up with this residual income in my checking account every month. And I thought, because I kept my foot down on the pedal, I remained committed, and I chose to do this, the outcome was there. And Erin, I can relate to you. I sat across from a gentleman yesterday who wanted, 2 days ago, who wanted to have a consultation with me. This guy, to me, when he started talking, I thought, you don't need me. You are way miles beyond me. You read my ebooks? You think they're valuable? He, to me, was so big because he was one of those gentlemen that uses very large, intricate words and phrases, very, very distinguished. And I thought, why are you sitting here talking to me? And the more the conversation went on, I realized that's the story I was telling myself. He saw my value based on those books, so they had to be good. You know, the content has to be good.
It's
Tamara,
true.
yeah, it is true. It is true. Tamara, talk to me a little bit at when people come to you and they want to start a book, just setting, authorship in general. How does an ebook, because you don't need an ISBN number, you don't need an agent, you don't need a publishing house. You can do it literally if you wanted to for this many dollars. If you had the ability to design a cover and all of that, and you're working it in Word, how does an ebook serve people once they get the gumption to do it and they go through the process?
So this is what I teach, because I actually think of my books as marketing tools.
Yeah.
Okay, they are so powerful. And I teach how to make your book totally interactive. So you will, if you read, you've got to think about your book as an engagement tool, and that all throughout the text, how can you drive people back to your website, your sales pages, your freebies, whatever it is that you want to offer. It's constantly driving that traffic back to your web pages that you want them to explore. So if I want to have someone visit and get a free video training that I have, one of the prime places, the real estate is what I call it in the book, is right after the title page is where you want to have an invitation. You want to invite people to click the link and get your free whatever that serves your audience. Okay, it's got to be related to what your audience needs and the information that will help them. And then that goes to your web page with an opt-in, and in order for them to download that free video or whatever it is that you're giving them, a checklist, whatever might help them out, that they have to opt in. So you get their name and email, and the beauty of that is that allows you to start creating a relationship with them. People come to your website and you don't have an opt-in and you don't give them something special, they're going to leave and you'll never hear from them again. But if you give them something special and they opt in, you have an opportunity to create a long-term relationship where I can start to give them more information and then tell them about upcoming programs and invite them to be a part of my Facebook community, Twitter community. So it's a beginning of a long relationship, which is what you want to create with your books.
Yeah, totally. Erin, go ahead.
No, what were you going to say? What were you going to ask?
I was going to talk to you because your book is both softcover and ebook. Do you have the ability? Are there clickable links in your ebook?
Yes. So that I did the same thing. So what I actually did was I had this advice, and I know it's very well-known advice, but I went through and found similar books in what I was talking about. And I went through and looked at all the 3-star reviews to see what people wanted more of. Why weren't they happy with these other books? So then what I did was, in my book, if I wasn't going to cover maybe what would help them, I didn't feel it was a good fit, I would say, okay, if you need more, here's 10 ways to get, this off the ground, or 10 ways to start your blog. Or if you need ideas, here's 50 ideas to start a business. Like if you're still kind of rolling. So I did that. If I couldn't fit it in the book, I created an opt-in around it and then had them go to that to get more information. So it was kind of it was twofold. So I was able to create the relationship, but then I was also able to fill in the blanks that they weren't as happy about in the other books.
That's awesome. That's brilliant, actually, to go through and do that. Yeah.
That's a really good way, actually, I think, too, with going to the 3 stars, see where people are dissatisfied. It's funny that you bring that up, because I always say complaints are good.
Right. Yeah. It gives you feedback.
Complaining, then you go, oh, okay, this is not being solved for people, and I can be that person. So I love that you brought that up. Also, with printed books, the way I make my printed books interactive, because you can't click on a link, right?
Right.
So I put QR codes all throughout my books so that people can scan the code with their smartphones and they're able to watch the video right on their phones.
Wow. Now there's something I never ever would have thought of.
People using it? Because I didn't know.
I have thousands and thousands of QR code scans.
Wow.
And let me say this, what I did in this last book, which was really awesome and exciting, is I invited 50 entrepreneurs that had used my first edition to successfully launch their businesses. And in my second edition, I asked them to provide a 2-minute video to share what struggles they've had to overcome in their business, what success they've experienced, what's the number one thing that has surprised them the most about running their business, and what's one piece of advice for aspiring entrepreneurs. And I had them answer those questions in the videos. And then I included all of those videos on QR codes sprinkled throughout my book. So when I put in the text a little paragraph blurb on their story, the reader can scan and actually see that person jump off the page and onto the phone and talk straight directly to the reader, sharing what struggles they've gotten through and how that person can overcome.
Wow, that is brilliant. Now, where did you learn this little beautiful marketing beauty tip? Because that's amazing.
I have to tell you, I was trying to figure out how to do this. And I was familiar with QR codes. I've seen other people using QR codes. And you've seen them on all of our products, but people don't often use them. But I went to that. I also, just so you know, I self-publish, and I also have a publisher. So McGraw-Hill is my publisher, but I also self-publish books. So I've got my feet in both worlds. And with that book, I went to my publisher and I said, I don't want this book to be flat on a page. People are digesting information differently. I want the stories of these amazing people who have struggled so hard and have come out on the other side. I want my book to come to life. And so I said I wanted to include these QR codes and link it up to these videos. And they were super excited. And then I said, okay, great. Do I do that or do you? And they said, no, that would be you. Mm-hmm. I got off the phone and I Googled how to create a QR code. I kid you not. I figured out the whole back end. Now I can do this in my sleep. So now I teach it.
Yeah.
And I teach you how to do the whole back end and how to create these links. So in the printed books, you want to use QR codes, but in your Kindle books, you don't need QR codes because you don't scan your device. But the same links then just go to your pages. Now, Keep in mind, I'll stop talking if you want, but I just one more thing.
No, I said right. Yeah, no, it's okay.
One more thing. This is a tactic that is so critical. So as I was thinking through, okay, I'm getting all these people to give me these amazing stories, but I want the traffic to come to my site. Okay, but I also want them to benefit, right? So I want everybody to benefit from this, but I need people to come back to my site. So what I did is I linked every single QR code in the book to a unique URL on my website. So let's say I interviewed you, Joleene. Then what I would do is I would put your video on my webpage that says tamaramonosoff.com/Joleene. Mm-hmm. And then that way I'm driving traffic back to mine. I have an opt-in for something there that's juicy that they might go, ooh, I want that. I get this all the time. So you're helping drive traffic back to my site, but I'm in my book putting your website, giving you all the credit. And so people can go visit you too, because I've got it all right there, because I want everyone who contributes to benefit, you see? Yeah. And then at the same time, though, I'm driving traffic to my site.
That is brilliant. Bronze Body says, great way for people to read paperback books again, and the unique URLs give your site huge traffic. I mean, you have to drive them back to your site. It's, you know what I love about ebooks? I love holding a book too. But the one thing I love about ebooks is when I discover something new or something shifts, I can fix it in my ebook and upload it. And it doesn't cost me a thing. I actually just did that because I launched a new website and some pages changed. So I had to go back in and change the links. I had also learned a new strategy to show people how to find paid opportunities. So I was like, you know what, this has got to go in my ebook. So I think that's a huge benefit when you have an ebook, or a bonus rather, is when something shifts or changes, you can easily upload that change.
Yeah, it's an incredible freedom and power, actually, because I am in both worlds with traditional. Once that book is out, it's out. Oh, and so with self-publishing, you see a new resource. Absolutely. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Erin, what is your experience? Can you tell and who's buying the hard copy versus the ebook?
No, I can only see like how many I've sold on the hard copy side versus the KDP side. So unfortunately, I can't get stats on who's buying who. That's, I think, the hardest part of sending them somewhere else is you can't track who's buying who, or you can't really do a Facebook ad to the book because unless you're doing it to an opt-in page, which I'll be doing a new different type of launch, but you can only see sales. But you just hope they opt in at some point.
Yeah. So question for either one of you. How do you market it? So me, for example, and I just said I could do more, it's on my email. So every time someone gets an email from me, they have the ability to say, hey, look at my ebooks. I also use it as an opt-in on my site. I actually use a segment of it. And since I've done that, I get 5 or 7 opt-ins a day, which surprises me, of people that order just that excerpt and then they buy it from there. Can you talk about different ways that you market it and you get people to show up for your book?
Well, there's so many different ways that you can earn income using your book, like the content of your book. And so I see it as a way to drive people, the book, to drive people to other things. So one thing, like if you have a class that you teach, for example, those 10 steps, I'll turn those into 10 modules where I'll record a video teaching with PowerPoint slides and I'll teach the class those 10 points. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can package that up and you can sell that. And you can put a link. Hey, do you want to go dive deeper? You say in your book, do you want to dive deeper and learn more steps and tools? Then you can put that link and drive it back to your online course. Or one of the things that I do a lot is I do free Q&A webinars where I'll talk about a certain topic, like one of my webinar that I did recently where people were like, oh my gosh, because I was teaching pricing models. And for product development, how do you price your product to make money? And so I had all these people coming, and I do it where I teach a little bit, and then I open it up for Q&A. Mm-hmm. And then you can sell your online program through that webinar process. And I found that to be an amazing way to get people engaged, purchasing, and even if they don't purchase, they feel like they got something of value by coming to the session, which is great because you're building that relationship over time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How about you, Erin? How do you market your book?
Well, as far as marketing the book and just getting it into as many hands as possible, I've been doing a lot of different things. I'm running an ad on Facebook for a specific opt-in all around entrepreneurship. And then they get that. And just a few days later, they get another opt-in or another email that says, hey, if you're really truly interested in building your own business, I wrote the book on it. and I send them a link for that. That's been working really well. I did a massive social media campaign the first few days it went live, just to get as much momentum as possible so Amazon could help me sell it in the back end too. So every now and then I get featured. I don't do KDP Select, but every now and then I get featured in Amazon and I see my numbers go up. I've also been testing out a lot of the different sites that you can, when you drop your book down, your ebook version to 99 cents. I can't think of it. Some of them have been incredible. I can't think of the names off the top of my head. Some of them have been just amazing, and some of them are complete duds. Mm-hmm. So I'll literally see 0 uptick in my sales, or sometimes I see hundreds of upticks in my sales. It just depends on the site. And then I do Periscope, like giveaways. I always see a great bump in my my numbers when I do a Periscope, and where I do a giveaway. And then just recently, I've been having somebody help me book on all the different podcasts. So every time I have a podcast go live, I've been really working the podcast circuit. I see numbers go up too. So just getting the word out of the book, and then to Mara's point, where it'll like hopefully be a long-term tail effect. It's just trying to get people with their eyes on my book right now.
Yeah, marketing leverage, Tamara. You said that in the beginning. That's the reason I did it, because people see that. It drives them to the book. They read the book. They get to know who I am. They see what I teach. There's links in the book. It leads them to this. It leads them to the website. They come to the blab, and so it goes. And it's content marketing. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because as a speaker, it's not on my table. I have a softcover book that I published in 2012. But it's really, really powerful, I think, because it does pitch you as an expert. Because I remember having a conversation with someone, and I said, I was working on coaching with him. And I said, well, how do you make your money now? And he said, well, I've written 5 ebooks. And I was like, well, what do you do with them? I had no clue. It was over my head. He says, well, I sell them. I sell hundreds and hundreds of them. And I moved in, and I'm like, how? What are you doing? And it just intrigued me. And that's where the ball started to roll. And I started to watch a lot of videos. And there's a woman out there. I was watching her videos. I can't think of her name now. But she even ended up recording and taping a YouTube video that said, don't publish ebooks. You're not going to make money unless you market it. And I'm a bull in the China shop too, Erin. I'm like, no. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make it work. So talk to me, and either one of you can chime in on this. Once you've got the book, you just can't sit there. You've got to be able to do something with it. If you're fairly new to marketing, what do you recommend for newer business owners?
Well, social media is phenomenal. I mean, that's what I use too. And I'm mostly on Facebook. I do use LinkedIn and Twitter. And I usually lead people to free events, because then you create engagement, you get to talk to people. And also it's a great way for you to hear what questions are being asked, because then you can use those either in you can expand and create that into a class, or like people are always asking me, well, how do you start your YouTube channel? I'm so embarrassed. I don't know. So I created a how to get started on YouTube mini videos course. So that's the thing, is listening to what people need and then turning around and giving it to them. And then people start to get to realize, wow, you know what? She delivers on what she says, and you start to build that reputation. But social media really is a phenomenal way to get, more eyeballs than I think you could normally do, at least in the past.
Well, get a little specific with me, because some people, they'll post something and they just, like some people share a link of mine and they don't write something above that link. And then if you're just going through the news feed, you're like, what is that? Choose one and be specific how you post it and what you do.
Okay, so for the author to income formula, I'm teaching the class right now. And before that came up, and that book's available on pre-order right now. So I did it, usually I do the book first, and then I teach the class after. This time I'm teaching the class, and then I'm putting the book out. So I experiment with everything. But before that, then I create a graphic. You can go on to canva.com and create the most amazing graphics for free. And I use it almost every single day. I create graphics. So you can create a graphic. So I had my picture, and I said, are you ready to hit #1 on Amazon? And then that links back to my webinar, my author to income, my training, or it could go to your book. So you're driving people back through your graphics. I think it's really important to have a graphic So you can have your face, your book, whatever it is, but I like seeing people. So I always think it's more engaging to have your face and maybe, next to your book. That's why it helps to have your picture on your book. Then you just have one graphic. But I always ask people a question, kind of like what Erin was talking about. Where do people, what's the 3-star? What is it? What's the issue that they don't like? Or what are they complaining about? And then you go in and you answer those questions.
That's brilliant. So Get Might Speaking has a question. He says, I have a number of Pulse articles on LinkedIn, and I'm thinking of turning those into small chapters in my book. What do you feel about this?
Do it.
Yeah, go for it. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I had said that too. I said, if the content serves people, say go for it. What you might be hitting, Mike, and I don't know, but it's what Erin was talking about when we first came on, and I don't know if you were here in the beginning with the blab. Don't second guess yourself. Don't question yourself. If it's in you and because I'll tell you what, your resistance, there's 25 more people behind you that are either going to resist, and one of those 2 people is going to blow right past you and they're going to publish it before you do. So don't think for a second it's not valuable or worthy. You already have content. And what Tamara is talking about is repurposing that content, which that's what every entrepreneur should really step into. I think that's a brilliant, brilliant thing when you were talking about take each chapter, create a module, create slides. And then, you know what I was thinking? I created a 5-week study course, and then a year later I wrote the book on it, and it would have been easier if I had written the book and then created the study course.
It's true.
Right.
No, definitely.
And who is it? Was it Michael who asked the question?
Yeah. Get Might Speaking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So take that content that you already have, and not only that, so drop that into a Kindle book. And by the way, there's a new category called short reads.
Oh.
And you can have a book as short as 50 pages. I mean, maybe even shorter, 30 to 50 pages.
Ebook 50 pages. You're talking about ebook 50 pages.
Ebook 50 pages.
Yeah,
We're talking
that's short.
It's crazy short. It's a new category called short reads.
Wow.
And so you probably already have, if you copy pasted with the information you already had and just put it into the doc. And by the way, I give away a pre-formatted Kindle book, so you can just copy paste, drop it in. But so let's say you just drop that in. And by the way, that same exact content, you can look at the camera and record that and turn that into video content, the exact same content. So
Laura, you're getting all excited. I love it. I love it.
This stuff gets me. I get so excited about this. Okay, I'll just say one other thing I do with my 10 points. Okay, so now we went from the 10 points to the book. Then we turned that into the book, right? And then we turn those 10 points into video content to package up and sell as an online course. You can also teach that live for more money. Okay, so now we've talked about making money along the way. Those 10 points, I turn those into tips, and then that's what I reach out to the media with. And I said, hey, here are 10 tips that I think your viewers could really benefit from. Obviously, pick a media outlet that fits with what your content is. And I just was on CNBC a couple weeks ago, and the producer said, you make my life so easy. And that's my intention, right? Those are your 10 chapters. Turn those 10 chapters into tips and give those to the media. And they're like, oh, thank you. Producers will kiss you and love you
Awesome.
because you've done their work, right? So it helps you then feed the process. You get in the media, then that generates more sales.
Cool. Thank you. That's fantastic.
Hey, Joleene, can I go back to marketing the book real quick? Because I think this one is important. The biggest thing you can do is don't let people know about the book the day it goes out. Build a lot of excitement. They should be knowing about your book coming out for long before it comes, because that's going to, everybody on Periscope knew it was coming. A lot of my fans knew it was coming. I had people like, Erin, how can I help you? How can I help get the word out? How can I help this? So really utilize your email list, not just buy my book, but hey, get them excited about it. Get them excited about what's coming. Give them tidbits. I know on the next book I'm going to write, I'm actually going to be doing interviews about it because I really want to do more storytelling of other people. And so what I'm going to be doing is blabbing those interviews, uploading them to a podcast. And that way people knows my book. They know my book is coming. They know what it's going to be about. They're getting excited about it. And then those same stories will be in the book. So don't just wait to let people know about it the day it comes out. You're going to do a lot better if that's what launching is just really, really building excitement. So utilize social media for that too, not just, hey guys, my book is live, go buy it. Cause that's not going to get you sales.
Erin, you did something that I thought was genius with your book. Is you started a Periscope that said, "It's here, come join me while I open it." And I was like, oh, this will be good. And I joined it, and I was literally sitting over here because you took the box out and you were going, oh my God, you guys, I'm nervous. And you had like 200 some odd people, I think, on your Periscope. And you pulled the book out and you were like, okay. But it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, some of the hardest. So I got an email. I was driving around and I got the email for that my book cover was ready. And I was like, oh, okay. I really want to see this right now, but I got to wait till I get home and open it for the first time on Periscope because I wanted my facial expression to come across. Like, did I love it? Did I not love it? I wanted people's opinion. So yeah, that stuff worked really, really well. It was so hard to wait sometimes because I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to open it now. And I'm like, but I'm going to wait till I can actually scope this. And it worked really well from excitement.
It was exciting. So, I got to give you credit for that. That was kudos. I never did anything like that with my books, and I should have. To create the momentum and build the excitement. So that's very cool. And Erin, you have a huge following too. So it was exciting to see everyone come in there. And then it's funny because you launched the book for 99 cents. So here's another thing I want to talk about. And you got an awful lot of people to jump on board right away to buy the book and even give a review. Mm-hmm. So both of you, talk to me about the importance of reviews, because I know there's people out there that are publishing these books and they're not asking for help. And we've got to ask people for help. So either one of you, step up. I mean, is it?
Well, I was going to say, you can't assume anybody knows what to do. Okay. So what I did was the people who offered to help, I created a launch list. They got an advanced copy of the book. I just asked that they bought a 99-cent version when it came out, and they gave a review. So they were, on my team for that. You have to ask for what you want. So I launched on my birthday, and a lot of people, Erin, I'm so happy for you. You launched a book. Happy birthday. And I'd write him back and be like, can you go buy a copy for me? Like, people don't know. You can't assume. Or every time somebody emails me and says, I loved your book, I'm like, thank you so much. I appreciate your feedback. Can you go leave a review for me? Like, I learned this in podcasting. You can't assume, even if your biggest fan adores you, you have to ask for what you want. And it can be uncomfortable, but that's what's going to help you get the reviews, the sales, etc. Just never assume. I think we all know what it does, but just never assume, especially with book sales.
Tamara?
That's absolutely true. I completely agree with Erin. You have to ask. And I put the link, I always make it easy for people. So in the book at the end, I tell them that their review really does make a difference, that their voice matters, and that I really would love for them if they would take a moment and just review, and then you click, the review is right there. So it's important to make it easy for people. And I think people need to understand that their voice does matter. And one of the things that's really cool is, one of the things that I love is when people are talking about now in my reviews, wow, they love the interactivity of it. They love the videos. So that gives me juice, because I'm like, yes, people are really having an experience, which is what I want readers to have when they read my work.
Perfect.
I want them to have an experience so they go, wow, and they remember, and then they tell everybody, because then it becomes like word of mouth marketing.
Yeah. So you talk about your book, Erin, being 99 cents. I know with KDP Select, you have options to choose which marketing technique you want to use. I didn't launch mine at 99 cents. I did mine at $3.99. And then after it was up for 30 days, it was 99 cents. And then I just barreled it out there. And I did the same thing. People would buy my book and I'd be like, can you give me a review? And people don't know. And we have to understand that not everybody is on the same page as us. One woman emailed me back with a review. I'm like, yeah, I need you to actually go in and put this in. I can't do it for you, So we can't always assume that people understand the process or how these reviews serve us. So can you talk to me about why we need these reviews? How do they serve us? How do they help us on Amazon?
Well, Amazon, you want Amazon to help promote your book too. So you want Amazon to show you in the list of suggested reads and all of this good stuff. And this was all research I've done and learning about it. So you really want, and that's why I did 99 cents for the first week. I wanted the number one. I just wanted a massive push for a week of my book. So it hit number one bestseller. I got 4 different categories in it. In the paid selection, I really wanted paid versus free. Free, I know a lot of people do, but I know for me, I don't value free. And even when I download a book for free, it's 9 times out of 10, I don't read it. So I really wanted at least that they paid something for it and got it. But you really want to push reviews because Amazon takes notice of you when all of a sudden you've got some good reviews behind it. You're selling some good numbers, and then you can help. They'll push your book too. Like I said, I didn't do select. I just did the KDP and discounted it to 99 cents. But like I said, every weekend, sometimes on a weekend, I'll see a massive push in my books, and it's because Amazon featured me. So that's what you want, Amazon to take notice of you. And I'm sure you have more input on that one too.
Yeah, definitely. You want to take advantage of the reviews, and also another way, and that is to jump onto those reviews, mark that it's been helpful, and comment back. You can jump in and comment back. You can't email that person. You can't see their email, but right in the review section, you can just say, hey, thanks. This was a really helpful review. And you want to comment back so that you can feel, the reader feels like, hey, I'm just not this random review that they, in fact, you're listening, you're watching, that you care. And that gives people, a sense that it was of value that they spent their time reviewing your book. Another tidbit is to take advantage of your Author Central platform account. You want to make sure that you've set up an account through Author Central. And one of the things that I learned that I now tell people to do is that in your bio section, usually you talk about your background and all these things. The very first thing, if you go to mine, you're going to see is I ask you to click on the follow button above. Okay, there's a yellow follow button. When you're in Author Central, you can't see that button. You're typing your bio in and you can't see it, but it's there when you hit save and it goes actually to what people are seeing. There's your picture and the yellow follow. Tell people to follow that button, because then what ends up happening is anything that you do, they get pinged and it tells them, hey, there's a new version coming out. There's this coming out. And if you've got events, you can type your events in there. They'll get pinged and it starts to create that engagement on Amazon.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating. Yeah, I'm going to have to go to my page and play with that. Yeah, there's so many things that, there's no wrong answers with this. It's just learning more, educating more, asking questions, diving in, just doing it and figuring it out. That's my motto. I had someone, after I did this whole process, I watched the ebooks. I literally watched the ebooks, the videos.
Oh,
yeah. I was going to say, is that my computer? Or we lost you, Jolene.
I had a window open with a
come back to
it. Pause it, go back, and step by step until I had it, until I had the process. And, after I figured it out, and it was hours of me figuring this out, I reached out to people. I asked questions. I had someone message me, oh my God, your ebooks, I love the covers. They're great. Can you please send me the information on how you did it? No, I can't.
Buy the book, yeah.
But buy the book.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually write a book on how to do it. I had to figure it out. And that was my response to her. I didn't know Tamara at the time to say, hey, maybe this woman can help you with this. This is what she does. But I said, you can do what I did and you can figure it out. Watch videos, read blogs, ask questions, upload, have a mistake, fail, upload again, not formatting, figure it out. This cover's not working. I know for my covers personally, I Googled best-selling book covers. I wanted to see what they looked like. And the one that my eye was attracted to is the one that I handed to my designer. I said, make this. And she made, if you see my ebooks, they're almost identical. It's just the colors are flipped. They're black and maroon because those are my branding colors. And they're very eye-catching. And I get a lot of compliments on it. And I'm like, thank goodness, because, and talk to me about the importance of a good cover. And Erin, when you opened your book, what a great conversation we had on Periscope. She's like, the light bulb, what should the light bulb be? But everyone's like, make the light bulb yellow, make the light bulb plain. And she's getting all of this great feedback. And all I could think about was how stinking brilliant is that? So talk to me a little bit about how important feedback is and how important the cover of that book is and how it should look good.
It is so important. I was teaching about that this morning. I'm glad you brought that up. And another thing you can do to get engagement, like Erin, I love what you did on Periscope. That's so awesome. Cool. What also you can do is you can take the 2 or 3 book cover drafts that you're considering and put it on Facebook and ask people to say, hey, I'm really struggling with this. which one is your favorite and why? I always want to know the why. And so really get to understand what people's thinking, what reactions they're having. And so it's a great way to get feedback before the book comes out, and then people feel like they're more involved.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you can go back afterwards and say, awesome, this is the winning cover. Thanks so much. And by the way, this is when it's coming out, or you click here to buy now or pre-order or whatever, however you're, getting ready for your launch. But it creates that engagement. Also, something that I didn't know at the beginning was the thumbnail. Reduce your book cover down to a thumbnail, because that's how it appears on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to read the cover at the thumbnail size. Critically important, because if people can't read it, they're going to just click right on by. But if it grabs their attention and they get it in that title, you're good.
Awesome. That's really good. Thank you so very much. Just go ahead, Erin, because I forgot my question.
Say, be really careful too of when you're doing your first book. There's a fine line. So some people are like, don't cheap it out. Don't go, your book cover. Don't make it look like your 5-year-old did it. And then, there's a really fine line. So a quick story. When I first did my book, somebody sent me to this girl who was going to help me. She gave me the quote to format, book cover, blah, 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 $3,000. And I was like, oh, dang. And I went to a group that I'm on on Facebook, and I said, guys, you can completely call me out for being cheap. I'm cool with that. But this is what I'm getting, $3,000. And they were like, you're getting ripped off. Don't even. So you can do a lot of like yourself, like Joleene was saying, you can do a lot of this yourself. Book cover. There are some great people on Fiverr. There are some great, go through their profiles, see what they do. And before you go, especially if you're on a budget, before you go to the $1,000 book cover, throw down $20-$30 on on Fiverr and just see what you come up with. If you hate it, okay, it's $30 lost. Go with the more expensive person, but try these things out. Don't get bullied into yes, it has to look professional, but don't feel like you have to go buy, because sometimes I think these people overprice, and you don't have to get a $10,000 book cover design. Just, use common sense, but try it out a little bit too. I'm so glad I asked the question. Otherwise I would have been so mad I spent $3,000 on that.
That's great. I had my designer quoted me 400, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. We actually traded coaching.
Oh,
so he had rebranded me, and she did great work. And so I wanted her to take that into my book, because I'm clunky. When I'm creating these things, it's just too clunky. And it brings me another point, Erin. We're talking about the importance of the cover looking good. You want to look professional. I want to talk about the importance of copy editing. I had a conversation with a woman. She approached me at a networking event. Oh, you have 3 books. Oh, that's so great. And of course, I'm like, I do have 3 books. That is pretty cool. And she asked me if I could give her some tips. And I was, giving her little pieces of it. And I said, but most importantly, you need to copy edit the book. And she's never been published. And she goes, I don't need to do that. And I said, well, why not, pray tell? She said, because I'm the author. And I said, well, that's exactly why you need to copy edit. And I triggered her. I upset her. But I just want everyone to know here, having your book copy edited doesn't mean that you're not the brightest bulb on the tree. It means you probably are the shiniest and brightest on the tree, because you get to writing and going, and you may misspell words or use the wrong context or something like that. You need someone to put you in shape. Tamara, you've got to agree with me 18,000% on this.
I do. It's so important. And even if you are an amazing writer, you need a copy editor. It's another set of eyes. And you're going to miss things. Even if you've read it over and over, which of course we all do, you are going to miss things. And so it's essential to have an editor. And you can get editors pretty inexpensively on guru.com. They have a lot of book editors on there. Elance and Fiverr. I haven't hired an editor from Fiverr. I have actually had a book cover done on Fiverr. So I think that, definitely get your book edited, because you want to put your best self forward. And this is a representation of you. And so it's really important to take that time to get that done.
Cool.
Another thing, just by the way, for those of you who are like totally just have a block around writing, you can speak your book. Record yourself speaking through each of the topics.
Great tip.
And then you can hire on Fiverr transcriptionists. So I've hired people for $30 an hour for a 90-minute video. and they can transcribe your speaking. And guess what? You got the written word on a page as a starting point, so you're not looking at a blank page.
What do you think the resistance is for some people to not start? And I mean, I know there's a lot of answers to this, but Erin said earlier, I thought I would sound like a moron. I thought people would think I didn't know what I was talking about. What do people that work with you say to you tomorrow?
Again, everyone has different feelings and backgrounds and things that kind of we're bringing forward with us. All I can do is speak for myself. And I had a life-changing experience. I don't usually talk about that much, but I had an experience in my life where when I was younger, I was 18, and I was, not sure what I wanted to do with my life. And I had a near fatal car crash. I totaled my car. That's how I got this scar on my face.
I can't see a scar. You're beautiful. I honestly don't. Oh, no, I do. Yeah.
Anyway, but the thing is, actually, that scar actually is a good reminder to stay focused and get what I want done in my life. Okay. Because that car accident just made me realize how short we have to accomplish our goals and our dreams. And so that's what drives me. People say, oh my gosh, how do you get all this stuff done? Because my favorite word on the planet is unstoppable. And I ask people in all my messages, are you being unstoppable in pursuit of your dreams? Because I know that I almost left this planet and I still had so much I wanted to do. I didn't know I did, but boy, when I got back after that accident in a year of recovery, I have been on track ever since in terms of just being totally driven and focused in what I want to achieve. And so I don't think that other people need to have that experience, that near fatal car crash, to realize, wow, you know what? This is my life. What do I want to do? And where do I want to be a year from now? Mm-hmm. Where do I want to be 3 years from now? And what would make me happy? Would it make you feel good to have a book in your name out in the marketplace? How would that make you feel? And if you know that the answer is, wow, that would lift my spirits, it would make me feel great, it would help me get more opportunities and jobs, then if that answer is yes, then just go for it and be unstoppable.
Oh, wow. I love your fire. And, talk a little bit about, and either one of you ladies, you're both speakers, how it helps you and gives you leverage as a speaker. I mean, I think that was one of the first things I did when I decided that speaking and coaching was going to be my business. I thought I need a book. And I self-published that book, and I got it in the soft cover, and I was like a peacock with my feathers all, because I'm like, look, I've got a book. And I actually just redesigned the front cover of it because the original cover was horrible. I thought it was great, but it was horrible. And that gives me clout. And it's amazing because people will come through and be like, oh, wow, you wrote a book? And they see you in a completely different light. So talk to me a little bit about how whether you're a speaker or an entrepreneur, whatever it is you're doing, that it gives you more clout and leverage as a business owner.
Well, I mean, from a speaker perspective, I can tell you just by doing a Periscope about my book, we're working on it right now, but a speaking opportunity at UNLV. Guys, like, wow. We need to hear they need to hear your message. So
that's great, Erin.
It really, it changes everything. I love, oh my God, I'm having mommy brain. Perry Marshall, great author. And he talks about it's racketing the shotgun. Instead of chasing people to hopefully get them to, chasing customers, getting people on your list, sometimes it can be exhausting. You're basically you're getting people to look at you who are actually interested. And so your whole business changes because people read your book. They're like, whoa, you're it. Some people kind of want me to solve a little bit more of their problems than I should. Like somebody I think was wanting me to set their whole life. I'm like, no, I can't do that. You got to figure some stuff out yourself. But it's changed everything from, like I said, when we've done it, you look back and you're like, it's really not that hard to publish this. But there's so many people who have the block. And so once you've said, I've published, you look like you really know. And it makes, to me, it's made my business so much easier. And I think everybody wants an easier business.
Mm-hmm. Tamara?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it opens up doors that are unexpected. I think that's my favorite part is the opportunities that come. Just so I get media interviews and invitations that continue to come. I mean, even a year and a half after my last book came out, I just was asked to be on CNBC. So it's like this, it really does create a domino effect. And a surprising invitation that came that I wasn't seeking was to teach at the Institute of Entrepreneurial Leadership. in our area. And I was able to do that through John F. Kennedy University. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I want to do that. So I was able to step in, and getting a faculty position is difficult, but I was invited as a guest. And then they asked me to teach the class for the whole semester, which was really fun. And so that's the thing, is you don't know what's possible until you put yourself out there and decide, okay, I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to be brave and get over my fears and just go for it. And then what's super exciting is on the other side of that, there's all these different doors that open up that you just didn't even imagine were possible.
Absolutely. And I love that you said that, because it's so true. I mean, just those 2 little ebooks, I don't know who's reading them because we can't track it. We were talking about that, Erin. We can't track it. And I was on the phone with a gentleman earlier today, and he said, I read both of your little books. He called them little books. I didn't take it as an insult, but he put me up here where I had myself down here, because we don't see the value sometimes, I think, with our own blocks of what we do, what we deliver, and what we can offer. And you're right, be brave. You're going to make a fool of yourself sometimes. And that's what my coach always tells me is, be willing to make a fool of yourself, because you're the one that's stepping up. And maybe when you step up there, whether you're speaking on stage or you publish your book, maybe you'll make mistakes along the way, but you've made them and you know how to improve them. And you're the one that stepped up and was able to do it. And that's really, I think, what the bravery is all about, is you have to be willing to make a fool of yourself. And I don't mean like putting yourself out there looking like an ass, but let's face it, when we do what we do, we know, and we're all 3 of us, and every single one of us that have been in and out of this room today, we understand that it's like you wince a little bit. It's like, okay, here, I'm going to put it out there. And all of a sudden it's out there. And then it's like, trumpets, and everybody comes and you're a hero, and it's a whole big thing. It's pretty amazing.
Well, I think real quick too, I want to say a lot of people put this pressure on themselves that, Joleene, what you wrote about was not the first book on the subject. Sure. I know what I wrote about was not the first book on the subject. Stop writing to impress your peers. Stop writing to be the next greatest book in the world, because you never know, who's going to, my book is about entrepreneurship. It's all my story. Like nobody's ever got, I know it's not the first book on entrepreneurship, but it's all my story and how I got started and how I sold. And stop trying to impress your peers. Stop, because you never know who that one person who's heard the story 50 times over about why they should start a business or why they should start a speaking career, but they pick up your book and they go, this is finally resonating, or I'm finally going to take that step, or I'm finally going to exercise, or I'm finally going to stop eating sugar. However, whatever it is, you never know. So stop looking and saying, well, somebody already did it. You didn't do it. And you have a completely different message. You have a completely different story. Don't copy what they did. Write it in your own story, but you just never know how that's going to resonate.
That's a great note to end on. So I like to keep it to 60 minutes. I don't want to go on forever. So let's just tag out again, let people know who we are, what we do, and put your website. I forgot to tell people who I was. My name is Joleene Moody, and I am a professional keynote speaker, and I teach people like you how to find and create paid speaking opportunities. I did write the ebook on it. So you can visit me, and here's my website, JoleneMoody, but I'm not today. Erin of the Starters Club, go for it.
So yeah, my business is the Starters Club. And what I do is I teach you how to go from concept and figure out how you're going to make money doing it, how to actually get profitable. So my niche is really those people in those first couple of years getting rolling and getting started. And you can find me at thestartersclub.com. I'll pop it in here, but everything all over social media is the Starters Club.
Thank you. You're up, lady.
Okay. And I'm Tamara Monosoff, and I have the Author to Income Formula. And I teach authors how to actually monetize their author platform. How do you make money with your book and beyond your book? And I teach all those different tactics and strategies for building a momentous author platform that ties in the media, ties in making money, ties in how to get your book to #1 on Amazon.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, ladies. Everybody, I hope you thought this was helpful. I appreciate you joining Speaker Pro. I have it every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. It was kind of a quiet day today. It's rainy and crappy where I am, so I don't know if that mood has sifted through somehow. but I
It's
appreciate
sunny
your
here.
time. Is it? I'm in New York State. It's pretty crappy where I am. But
It's sunny here. Everybody's probably out drinking right now. So I'd be on a patio too if I could. So.
Thanks so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Joleene.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.